Well, as usual, as more and more information begins to unfold, we find out that we're not being told the truth. There is now a new witness that has popped up, and he claims that there was more than one shooter at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport, where the authorities say that there was just one shooter, Esteban Santiago, a 26-year-old man who was born in New Jersey, apparently living in Alaska for the last couple of years. Authorities tell us it was just one shooter, Esteban Santiago, and we know that he was psychologically unstable. Early on, this photo had me confused. I wasn't sure why these gentlemen were looking up, thinking there was a threat up there after Esteban Santiago had already been taken into custody. But now learning that there may have been more than one shooter, this photo now is more understandable. That if there was in fact 3 more shooters with AR-15s or M16s, well, that changes the whole situation. What I believe we have here is a possible MK Ultra. We're looking at a psychologically unstable individual who has been manipulated by shadowy government type. Think about it. If you were in the intelligence community and you were told, go find some wacko who we can, manipulate, he'll do exactly what we tell him to do. It looks like they found the perfect victim in Esteban Santiago because he was posting on the jihadi forums when he was 17 years old. It tells you right there that he had some problems. He had some issues. And if you're posting for the jihadi forum, you can pretty much be 100% sure that there's intelligence communities watching your every move. And then they go in, and then they start manipulating you and tell you this and tell you that and say, oh, why don't you join the military where we'll train you, we'll show you films. And then it comes out that he actually did go into an FBI field office. Can you imagine? He goes into the field office and he complains that the federal government is making me watch ISIS films. He says the federal government is making me work and fight for ISIS. I believe that this kid was put through the MK Ultra program. I believe that they manipulated, brainwashed, and confused this young man so much that he didn't know heads or tails what the hell was going on. He was the perfect victim. He was the perfect MK Ultra subject. And then it was just a matter of time before they were going to use him. And it looks like today he was used. He was put on an airplane and he was sent to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where all hell broke loose. And how amazing was it that as soon as this thing went down, mainstream media has all the information on this guy. It's already there, ready and prepared. They even have the story that he went into the FBI field office and he told them about how the federal government was messing with his mind. He was the perfect subject. We're looking at an MK Ultra victim here. Now comes the interesting part of the story. This part comes from Dabu 7. Now I have no idea where Dabu 7 got this footage. I don't know if Dabu 7 checked it out to see if it's legitimate or not. But if this witness here, this man right here, if he's telling the truth, well, this is really the smoking gun here. Because, and if you listen to him, you can tell he looks like he knows what he's talking about. He was right there. He said he was watching it happen. He watched these guys with their rifle shooting. You listen to him. If he's telling the truth here, then this is the smoking gun.
Actually, the first time when they caught the guy. But it had to be 3 sleepers. Because when we could see literally inside where the windows, you could see the fire coming from the barrels. It was like at least 3 people in there still shooting. Like it was like a high-powered rifle, like an AR or something, man. They was non-stop shooting. Like they just started hitting different people inside the crowd. We had to leave. We had to get off the roof.
Now, if you're concerned for that witness's safety, health and safety, well, you would be correct. That would be a legitimate concern. One thing I would say is if it turns out that witness is telling the truth, then they're going to try to discredit him. If it turns out that witness was there, if he saw what he says he saw, the authorities will discredit him. They'll go through everything in his background. They'll arrest him. They'll put some pressure on him to change his mind. He will get a visit from authorities who will politely ask him to change his story. The pressure will be applied. But you know what? When I was listening to him as he was talking, what I heard from him is he said, once the first man, I would assume that would be Esteban Santiago, once he was in custody, he says there was 3 more sleepers. That was sort of hard to catch because he said it real fast. But he said there must have been 3 more sleepers. And then he described how he was looking through the window and he saw them with the M16s or the AR-15s. This new witness here, his story is so damaging to the authorities' official story. It looks more and more like it's a false flag, doesn't it? Yes, I'm starting to believe that what we have here is an MK Ultra victim. I believe this young kid's mind was twisted around. His mind may have been gone before the military even got him, but the military chose him. They showed him films. They made him fight for ISIS. If you believe his story, if you believe what he tells the FBI, and then the FBI sent him to a loony bin, the FBI took him directly to a mental hospital. Isn't it funny how they released him, and then not too much later, he's on an airplane flying to Fort Lauderdale. This has MK Ultra written all over it.